Kirkwood Math. All right, this is our last lesson for Module 1. Here we go. In this lesson, we're going to be able to identify a number's absolute value, and we're going to be able to show what absolute value means on a number line. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to see if you can figure out what absolute value is on your own. So think back to when we made our number line on lesson 1.1. What was special about the numbers 4 and -4? Hopefully you've told me, hopefully you said that what was special was that they were opposites. They're opposites on the number line, which means that they are the same units from 0. So -4 is 4 hops from 0 and 4 is 4 hops from 0. Now, what if I told you that 4 and -4 have the same absolute value? What would you think absolute value means? Hopefully you connected absolute value to the number's distance from 0 on the number line. Because if 4 and -4 have the same absolute value, and we know that they're special because they are both have the same distance from 0, then that would mean that that absolute value is distance from 0 on a number line. So go ahead and write this down in your notes. And then below it is an example. The absolute value of -3 is 3 because it is 3 hops away from 0 on the number line. Now you do not have to write the example down, but it is a wonderful thing to write down so that if you're ever confused, you can go back and check it out. Here are some more examples. So here we have a number line. You have this in your notes as well. We have 0, we have 3, -3, and we have 5. So if I count the absolute value of -3, I get 3 because -3 is 3 hops from 0. Now you might be asking yourself, Ms. Kirkwood, what are those weird lines on either side of -3? Well, these big tall lines on the other side of any number, we're going to use n to represent any number, that is an absolute value symbol. So those double lines right there is an absolute value symbol. Oopsie, absolute, there we go, value symbol. And what that means is it turns this number right here into a math problem. You actually have to solve this. So you read this as, what is the absolute value of -3? What is the absolute value of 0? What is the absolute value of 5? And then you can go ahead and answer those. So the absolute value of -3 is 3 because it's 3 hops away from 0. The absolute value of 0 is 0 because it is 0 hops away from itself. And the absolute value of 5 is 5 because it is 5 hops away from 0. Now think to yourself, what is special about these numbers here, these absolute values, right? Now 0 we know is special itself, but what about 3 and 5? The absolute value of -3 is +3, and the absolute value of +5 is +5. What is special about those numbers? And hopefully at home you're going, well, Ms. Kirkwood, they're both positive. And that is right. Absolute value is always positive. And the reason it's always positive is because it deals with distance, right? And distance is never negative. Even if you stood up right now and walked backwards to the bathroom, you'd still be going somewhere. Distance is never negative. You can go backwards in your distance and go back to where you started, but you still went somewhere. You still traversed so many miles or feet. So because absolute value deals with distance, absolute value is always positive. So now going back to 4 and -4, +4 and -4, we said that, excuse me, 4 and -4 were 4 hops away. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Their absolute values are the same, and we know that they are opposite integers. So because they're opposite integers and they have the same absolute value, we can assume that all opposite integers have the same absolute value. All opposite integers have the same absolute value. So if you do something and you find out that they have the same absolute value, you know they're opposite integers. All right, so let's practice with this, okay? So remember, these two lines are read as the absolute value of negative 12. So the absolute value of negative 12 is positive 12. The absolute value of positive 91 is positive 91. The absolute value of 0 is 0. The absolute value of positive 88 is 88. So now we have a word problem. We have Alice and Javier. Alice and Javier debated whether the absolute value of negative 10 is positive or negative or 0. Alice claimed it's positive because negative 10 is 10 spaces from 0. Javier claimed that it's negative because negative 10 is less than 0. Who is correct? Go ahead and think about that one for a second and then join me again and we'll go over that answer. Hopefully you said Alice. Alice is correct, and for many different reasons. You could say Alice is correct because absolute value deals with spaces from 0, not greater or less than 0. You could say Alice is correct because absolute value is always positive. It's never negative. No matter what your reasoning, Alice is the correct answer. All right, on this next problem, we have Nicole and Olivia. Nicole and Olivia are trying to put the following expressions in order from least to greatest, this one right here. This is Nicole's answer, and this is Olivia's answer. We need to know who is correct and what mistakes are there in the wrong answer. So again, pause the video, solve the problem, and then join me again for the answer. All right. Hopefully you had said that Nicole was right, because if we solve the absolute value of negative 13, we get positive 13. And so now we can put them in order from small to big, small being the largest negative number, negative 9, farther left on the number line, and working our way right on the number line with the absolute value of negative 13 being positive 13. Olivia is wrong for a couple different reasons. One, she didn't solve the absolute value of negative 13. She also kind of just put the numbers in order from ignoring this one. From here over, she just kind of put the numbers in order from least to greatest, ignoring all positive and negative signs, 0, 7, 8, 9. She didn't know, or she didn't think that negative 7 mattered or negative 9 mattered. But in the end, Nicole's the right one, because she solved the absolute value and then put them in order from least to greatest, from left to right on the number line. All right, now this next set of problems we did with a partner in class, but if you don't have a partner at home, you're just going to read the statements to yourself and write true or false next to them, because some of these statements are true and some of them are false, and you should be able to identify which ones are which. So take a minute, identify, and then come back to see your answers. All right, so 7 are here. Never mind, we're gonna pause. All right, here we are. So number 7 is false because the absolute value of 14 is just 14. So those two numbers are equal to each other. Number 8 is true because the absolute value of 44 and negative 4 is both positive 44. 44 and negative 44 are opposites, and so their absolute values are the same, so they're equal to each other. Same goes for number 9, same reasoning. For number 10, this is false because the absolute value of negative 22 will be positive 22, which is greater than negative 22. Number 11 is true because any number that's negative and that same number that's positive, those are opposites. And we know from this lesson that opposites have the same absolute value. And then 13 is true because the absolute value of negative 33 is positive 33, and positive 33 is the opposite of negative 33. All right, last thing that you're going to do, we have one more word problem here that has to do with Leo, Gabrielle, Sienna, and Tomas. They're playing a video game, and these are their scores right here in this table. You're going to answer these questions below based upon the table. Leo wants to earn enough points to have a positive score. Does he need to earn more than 100 points or less? Gabrielle wants to earn enough points to not have a negative score. Does she need to earn more points than Leo or less points than Leo? Sienna wants to earn enough points to have a higher score than Leo. Does she need to earn more than 50 points or less than 50 points? So take a minute, read through this again, and then again, join us with your answers, or to check with your answers. All right, so if you look at the table, we know that Leo has less than negative 100 points. So his numbers are going to be negative 100, well, they're going to be more than negative 100, or sorry, his negatives will be farther left than negative 100, right? So it could be negative 101 or smaller. Gabrielle has 20 points more than Leo, so probably around negative 80 if he had negative 100. Sienna has 50 points less than Leo, so she's sitting at negative 150 or less because it depends on where Leo is. We don't know if he's at negative 100. It says less than that, so somewhere less, farther left. So Leo will have to earn more than 100 points to get positive. Gabrielle will need to earn less points than Leo so that she does not have a negative score because she's actually winning right now. And Sienna wants to earn enough points to have a higher score than Leo. She's going to need to earn more than 50 points because 50 points will get her equal to whatever Leo is. So if she wants to be more than Leo, she needs to earn more than 50 points. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our Module 1 lessons all done. So hopefully your note takers are all filled in. If you have any questions, come see me in class, and I'll catch you in the next module. Bye.